23rd of April 2024. I'm going to be a host tonight. My name is Dana Durnford. I'm also known as the nuclearproctologist.org. And you can call into these live shows at 709-589-4406. Particularly interested in the pro-nuclear. For some reason, did you know the nuclear industry's never actually had a real debate? All the mock-ups you've seen in the medias and documentaries, these are mock-ups, right? These are control opposition. They can't win a real debate. They simply couldn't win. They told so many lies they can't possibly keep it straight, you know? Nothing like this has ever been attempted, a Yale professor. All of humanity will be threatened for thousands of years. This is an incredible statement. This is October 27, 2013. 2013, almost the end of the year. If the rods in Unit 4 pull, they're talking about the fuel pool, top of Reactor 4, a 190-foot, 65-meter, 19-story building, and have a nuclear reaction. So the rods touching will create a criticality event, an excursion event. Not clear if the fuel is already damaged. Oh, okay. Well, let's have a little look, shall we? Not clear if the fuel... So here's a Yale professor. He's talking about the building to your left. I can't tell if it's damaged. I'm not some big shot Yale professor, so I don't know. I'm not an engineer, so I don't know. I have to move on to something like The Simpsons, I guess, or something stupid. Oh, wait a second. You don't actually got to be a nuclear engineer or an engineer or even a high school education to understand the buildings are completely destroyed. Wait a second, which would mean that every nuclear scientist on the planet would have known that the fuel pools and the reactor cores are gone. So here's a Yale professor, the elite of the elite. The best that humanity has to offer. The number one shaker and mover, Yale University. Their esteemed professor on October 27, 2013. Well, Reactor 4 looked like that on October 27, 2013. It's quite a coincidence. Now, the fuel pool was about 120 feet above the stump, whatever you want to call that wreckage there. But there's always a but. But we got a poll tonight. It's asking a very poignant question. The most important question, I might add. Where be Dana? No, just kidding. Was it a crime for media, like the BBC, which is the biggest media in Europe, really, ABC, which is the biggest media in Australia, the entire continent, CNN, the biggest scumbags worldwide, bar nobody, and CBS, which is the biggest media in the United States, and some could argue, I've heard it argue and argue successfully, in Canada too, etc. It wasn't just him, but they've been singled out to claim that they were in the Fukushima Reactor 4 fuel pool. You're like, no, Dana. Mom, Dana's making shit up. No, hear me out first. Hear me out. You know, actually, I got videos of those medias claiming it. You're like, no way you got videos. No, I swear to goodness. Honest goodness. I swear on every politician's life. Everybody, please lie, Dana, please lie. Don't believe me? Get a listen to this.
Where I'm standing is on top of what used to be reactor building number 4. The whole of this building was blown apart by a huge explosion.
We are here inside Reactor 4 at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant that was severely crippled during the earthquake and tsunami of 2011.
Of the decommissioning work taking place here in Reactor 4.
At the end of our tour, we were checked for radiation exposure. In 4 hours, I received the equivalent of less than a chest x-ray.
1,500 highly radioactive fuel rods inside this pool. They've got to move them outside of this reactor.
So, like, I'm confused.
My
They can't be
understanding is on top of
building
what
that don't
used to be
exist.
reactor.
They can't be on top of a building that don't exist. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. We need some pro-nuclear to call in immediately and tell me why I'm wrong. Pro-nuclear's like, let's call and straighten Dana out. And straighten that bastard out once and for all. We went to the city today, a long day, very long day. We have videos and pictures. We picked up a trailer, a 5 by 10 foot trailer. So stay tuned for pictures and videos of that later. It's a big deal, trust me. So, should it be a crime? I'm just saying. I'm not trying to stir up shit or nothing. I'm not trying to be a smart ass or a big shot or something like that. But was it a crime for them to pretend they're in a building that doesn't exist, particularly a nuclear meltdown? Is that a crime? Should it be a crime? I want everybody to read your comments. Hi, everybody. Welcome, everybody. So I want to hear it in the comment section. Was it a crime for media like the BBC, ABC, CNN, CBS? This is just a fraction, etc., etc. I couldn't do etc., etc. because I ran out of room. You only got 100 digits. What's wrong with you, YouTube? They claimed they were in Fukushima Reactor 4 fuel pool because they disarmed the entire planet. They double-armed the entire planet. So, like, do you believe those people are in the fuel pool of that building, which is at the very top of the building? Is it just me? Am I crazy? Dana, what you got to be picking on the media for? No. I'm just asking a question. A question. What the hell is a question, Dana? I don't know, but I like it. It got rhythm, man. It's got rhythm. Yes, it's absolutely, it's insane, right? If this is not the definition of insane, yeah, it's a crime under no matter how you look at it. Was it a crime for media like the BBC, ABC, CNN, CBS? So, like, just imagine if Russia had put out videos where, here we are at the reactor 4 at Chernobyl, everything's okay. How about you, CNN? Yeah, no, we're here at Unit 4. We're looking for Seth Dorn. We take us in the bathroom. Give us a minute, he'll be back. So, is that a crime, though? To pretend there's no nuclear meltdown and then you eat the food and get sick and die, is that a crime? How come the police are not arresting these people? And there's not a nuclear scientist on the planet when he's seen these buildings after day 5 that didn't know the fuel pools were gone, that didn't know the reactor cores were gone, and to this day, 13 years later, has never come out and said that. Nowhere on the entire planet. Particularly Arnie Gunderson, who made the racks for the assemblies, for the fuel pools. You think he would tell you? If you do, you're pretty naive. Is his significant other evil creature was a spokesperson for the nuclear industry for 20 years. Arnie's anti, she's pro-nuclear, you know. Opposites attract, Dana. Opposite scumbags attract is more like it. Was it a crime, though? Hey, we got Stephen Young. That's good to see. Hi, Stephen. I'm glad to see you there. We were worried about you, buddy. We know you're going through hell, right? With that infusion that they're doing to you. I'm not trying to pry in your personal life or something. maybe a little bit, but we're glad to see that you're able to at least comment. I know you're not doing good from it. That's cool. Let's try another way of looking at this whole conversation. The mentally handicapped are working at Fukushima. You mean nuclear scientists, right? Yeah, well, that's true. They're mentally handicapped scientists. Nuclear scientists are. But we're actually talking about the homeless and the destitute. They're often given worse radiation suits than the employees. There is no such thing as a radiation suit. Tepco has headlines where he burned 7,000 paper suits a day. So if you consider a paper suit a radiation suit, then you're number one gullible. Calm down, Charlie would like to hire you. Him and Stinkfoot can come after me together, see? Like, where is Stinkfoot? How come Stinkfoot's not out beating the shit out of me? That's two different times, right? That calm down Charlie says, oh, you're going to get it now, man. We got Stinkfoot. I was like, what are you talking about? I crushed him years ago. Every city, every town, every street in Japan should look like that. We're missing 149,000 pictures like this. So we had artificial intelligence to help us out a little tiny bit. You know. Mano, buddies, right? I'm buddies with the artificial intelligence. The mentally disabled are working at Fukushima. You mean nuclear scientists? Yeah, but no, well, they're not at Fukushima, but yes, they're mentally disabled, but they're not at Fukushima. It's the homeless and the destitute and the victims of society, the immigrants who don't speak the language. Damn, Mom, the nuclear scientists are treated like disposable people. You're not going to see a headline like that anytime soon. Men are forced to go to the plant because it's like a banana and a potato chip and walking in the sunshine, ain't it? I think every scientist and every academic and every journalist that ever uttered those words should be dealt with. Should be put in jail for the rest of their lives for disarming the entire planet, destroying the future of humanity. There's wicked, hideous, monstrous laws. They're thieves. They stole the future of everybody, right? There's 149,000 pictures like this missing from Fukushima because there's 150,000 sites of 1-ton bags. Even Forbes, and Forbes is pro-nuclear as they get, said it was outrageous that the homeless people are being sold. Mom, nuclear scientists are being sold to companies put to work on Fukushima. No, you want to hear headlines like that? It's the homeless and the destitute and the victims of society. That's your heroes. The people that a lot of people just spit at and kick dirt at, won't give them a nickel. They're the heroes. They're the ones who stepped up and sacrificed their lives. Not willingly, they had no idea what they were doing. The nuclear industry chose them because they didn't know any better. And of course, if you put a whole bunch of homeless and destitute and victims of society and immigrants that don't speak the language in charge of the most technically challenging job on the entire planet in history, it's going to go bad. It's going to go really bad for everybody in all the 8 million species. It's the guaranteed way, the best possible way to destroy the future of everybody in all the species. And it all goes back, and you can trace the whole issue back to these creatures that pretend that they were in a building and disarm the entire planet from coming up with solutions, right? I'm just saying. Call me if I'm wrong. Say, Dana, you're wrong. Give us a call. Tell me why I'm wrong. I want to hear why I'm wrong. If they didn't do that, if they had to come out and say, we can't get in at reactor 4. We need people to put their heads together and come up with solutions. Guess what? We would have came up with solutions. Instead, no. They pretend they're in a building that don't even exist. Everybody like, oh, that's so cute. And all the gangsters, the pro-nuclear gangsters. Stinkfoot. A Stinkfoot there in the middle. Yeah, we dressed him up a little bit. He looks almost presentable right there. Here's Stinkfoot. That's the Stinkfoot I beat up like a decade ago. And this is the current version of him. But in reality, that's actually Stinkfoot, right? His job is to sell out humanity for a paycheck. He makes a lot of money doing it too. And Calm Down Charlie, the Mashita Mashata from Tokyo Bureau, Chicago Division, has engaged him to come after me and wreck me. He's going to beat me up with bananas and potato chips and walking in the sunshine till I can't stand it no more and gives up and goes away. Right? Because it offends me that people that we put our faith into, our utmost trust into, our hopes and dreams into, stuck a friggin' great big 25,000-mile knife up everybody's butt. And then they roll out scumbags like this to go after anybody that's trying to have a conversation. Degenerate monsters like this gets rolled out. Soulless, spineless evil. These are evil people, by the way. Speaking of evil, let's get back to nuclear. Oh, that's right, we haven't stopped. Every street in Japan should look like that. Every street in Canada and the United States should look like that from 1 ton bags of radiation from the radioactive fallout. And I'm not saying maybe, I'm saying it really should. League of Nations official astounded that the homeless are taken to work in Fukushima ready to die. They're not ready to die. They don't even know where they're going or what they're doing. And at the end of the month, if they're still alive, they're left with no pay. They're robbed and sick, and they got the worst death imaginable from radiation. And they're thrown away like fucking paper towels. And the only reason that the whole system is getting away with it is because these people came out and hoodwinked the entire planet. Ho ho! Here we are, Reactor 4! Woohoo! So everybody went back to sleep. 60 and older should be prepared to die. Like not nuclear scientists, but like your loved ones, your grandparents, your parents, your friends, your families. Them, non-nuclear scientists, non-nuclear employees should be prepared to die at Fukushima. What kind of industry works that way? What kind of industry thinks that way? And it claims that it's the salvation of climate, of all things, when it's the epitome of climate. The reason we have climate change is from perpetual, unmitigated radioactive fallout. That's not up to debate. Nobody's going to beat me in an actual debate about that. This model is from Japan. I want you to think about this model. Think of a snowstorm, and that's Japan. So here's a snowstorm, and we're up to day 15. We're at day 20. 20 days of snow, and the snow never stops. The snow never goes away. The snow never melts. You fucking well get it then, wouldn't you? Because you can't see it or smell it or hear it or feel it or taste it or pick it up or throw rocks at it or perceive it. Therefore, it's harmless, innocuous, benign. Right? Wrong. In a whole many ways. A whole many lethal, deadly ways to your loved ones, your friends, your families, and the 8 million species that we're supposed to be the steward of. And that we abrogated our responsibility due to being hoodwinked, manipulated, and deceived and coerced. And so that they got wealthy, and you have to liquidate your assets to save your loved ones for a few more years and take them to the hospital where they're going to get irradiated with a foreign entity that your body has no immune trigger to defend against till they're dead. In Canada, the government will spend $900,000 irradiating you because they love you so much. Is it a crime to disarm the entire planet? Is that not a crime? How is that not a crime? Why is the world not gone to war against this media for doing that? You want fake news? Baby, there it is. Wow. You can't get any better or bigger than that, can you? Has How are you going to get a bigger story than this? Here's the media pretending they're in a building that doesn't exist. I created the picture like 10 years ago, and still nobody. And everywhere I tweeted it, they blocked me. Every Greenpeace on the planet has blocked me on Twitter, / whatever the fuck Elon Musk calls it now. Every Greenpeace on the planet has blocked me and took down that picture. Because I went after every one of them. Come on, man. Give it a little, give some love to it. They're like, oh, we'd rather let the planet die and cross that fucking road. Interview in Fukushima, a lot of the police are dead. There was over 300,000 dead. I'm sorry, 300 dead police officers. I'm like, what? 300,000? When radiation workers died or marked as missing, there's bodies there you just couldn't retrieve, right? And we're not talking about a few of them. We're talking about several thousand anyway. No lead-lined casks for them because they're so radioactive. They have to be dropped in the bowels of hell. Every highway on the planet should look like that. Trying to clean up with this for the next 1,000 years. Tokyo should no longer be inhabited. This is 36 million people we're talking about. Doctors don't matter. The only thing that matters is if the media comes out and says, no, everything you go back sleepy. There's 149,000 pictures. There's 150,000 sites of 1-ton bags. 150,000 sites like this of 1-ton bags. We got 1,000 pictures. And so I'm using artificial intelligence to try to imagine the other 149,000 pictures. I think we're doing pretty darn good, to tell you the truth. Surges in airborne radioactive release has gone on for years, exceeding 25,000 times the normal levels. Extensive areas impacted. X-ray-like images shows how radioactivity spread throughout the bodies of the Fukushima wildlife. And it was the same for the plants too. And that the worms, their excrement, was at 1.4 million atoms per kilogram. Worms, right throughout the Fukushima prefecture. You know, where they're growing food, shipping it worldwide and slaughtering us. And they're like, no, I gotta go watch this, I gotta go watch fantasies. Reality is too difficult to deal with unless the media tells it to me with a whole bunch of jewelry and bling and Stephen's doing a second round of infusion. That's what I said last night. He's probably doing a second round. Yes for the poll. Yes for the Wolfman. Clap for the Wolfman. Let me see. Did we get any replies for the poll that I asked? Everybody's too busy right now, apparently. Colette's comment disappeared. That sucks. Well, next time I see a Google employee, I'm going to kick the shit out of him for you, Colette. We're not going to have that. Just for you, I'm going to kick the shit out of the next Google employee I see. Even if it's one of those cars driving around automatically taking pictures of everybody, I'm going to smack him right in the headlight. Take that, Google. Of course, I'm going to have a balaclava on so that Google can't target me. Because the biggest gang on the planet deserves a little bit of respect, right? Cesium remains dispersed throughout the water column from the surface to the ocean floor. Wait, what? That can't be real. What about all the whales, Dana? They're going to get irradiated or what? Too late. So when they, you can't just have cesium dispersed throughout the water column from the surface to the ocean floor. You're going to have plutonium-239 from the surface to the ocean floor, from the river to the sea. You're going to have americium or neptunium-239. You're going to have cesium-137. And this is airborne. This is the whole planet covered in 20 days. Just like this model. Here's like day 20 right there. 15 days after the last nuclear reactor blew up, 20 days after the tsunami. This is a 30-day model. Now, the model stopped. That doesn't go away ever. Because it's actually curium and uranium and americium, neptunium and strontium. This stuff will be here long after we're gone. Don't worry though, CNN, ABC, BBC, CBS all told us it was like a banana. Like, nothing to worry about. Have a nice day. Give us our $1 billion. Fukushima radiation still circling the globe. Levels consistently rise and fall in a 40-day cycle. It's way worse than that. Little tidbits of truth. When you start adding them all up, 2,000 grains of radioactive pollen inhaled in a cubic meter of air. That's not how much is in the cubic of air, that's how much is inhaled. And this is flashing in your body every second, almost at the speed of light. Your body has to repair all the damage and attack the source for the rest of your life. And do you just breathe a single time every day when you go out? Is there just, you get in a cubic meter air and you go, okay, I'm going to hold my breath now and run for 10 miles. No. You're saturating your body. It's just terrifying, the whole story. You can build a road like this right around the entire planet with Fukushima if you just pick up 6% of the Fukushima land of 1-ton bags right around the entire planet. Currently, the 30 million 1-ton bags that you did pick up is equal to 5 rows of 1-ton trucks bumper to bumper wrapped around the planet. So at some point, if you're driving and you're trying to drive opposite around the planet, you're going to have to figure out how to get around 5 rows of traffic, bumper to bumper, 1-ton trucks of 1-ton bags of radiation. Like, it's real. It's not a game. What they done at Hanford, what they dumped into the soil is different, but it's still nasty and lethal. But they dumped enough radioactive sludge from the chain reaction during the Manhattan Project, of 450 billion gallons. So the average person, it don't mean nothing. It's equal to a 6-foot aquarium, 518 feet tall, wrapped around the entire planet more than once. Think of a wall, 518 feet tall, wrapped around the entire planet. Think about that. Of radiation, lethal by the liter, just walking past it. And don't even try to dream up what they done at Mayak, or Sellafield, or La Hague in France. This industry is insane. And sitting in silence is not an option. Letting them do what they're doing without being challenged is a cowardly thing to do. It's simple as that. Fukushima plume model showed 1 million atoms over the west coast after the reactor's explosions. Well, you should scratch that out because of the League of Nations / UN, August 24th last year, said that no, nothing blew up, there's no meltdowns, everything's contained. And what they get out was equal to 3 grams of sugar. And now that's the official story since July the 13th. And August the 24th, he said the only thing that's going into the ocean is tritium. Nothing has ever gotten out of the melter reactors. Officially, there is no melter reactors, I should say. So they rewrote history, and I mean they rewrote it. For 12 years, this is Fukushima. Year 13, no, that's not Fukushima. UN said it's not, Dana, so all the media now is going to say that story. And anybody who comes out and has another narrative is going to be censored completely because the United Nations said it is not true. That's not true. So somebody at Google right now is getting $30, $40, $50 an hour to sit there and censor me and go home, try to pretend to their family that they're good people. I don't understand how that works. That's their job, is to screw over humanity and make sure they don't have a chance. Take away every chance of their loved ones and their friends and their families. Take away that chance forever. That one moment in time when they could have done something. So they can get a paycheck, right? I get it. Nuclear hires the stupidest, but they got good educations, but they're stupid. They have no rationale whatsoever. They'll do whatever they're told. They're real-life Nazis. High radiation forces withdrawal of workers trying to restore power. You mean the homeless and the destitute, the victims of society. See, there's 149,000 pictures missing. And when I talk to artificial intelligence and ask it to cook me up these pictures, this is what it gives me. It's just like, you can hear the artificial intelligence whenever, like, no, Dana, Dana, take a day off, Dana. I can't take it no more. I just can't take it. Radiation health specialists, children with 11 atoms per kilogram of cesium start to see heart problems. That's the gallows laugh. Because this plume model, I showed you a couple times already, but I didn't really explain it, did I? You know what that is? This model is a million to 10 million atoms of cesium-137 per cubic meter of air, which pulses 600 feet every second, by the way. So how is a child going to avoid 11 atoms? And you can put 200 million atoms on the head of a needle, you can't see it. So how are you going to avoid 11? How are you going to avoid your child or their child or anybody's child or insects or birds or mammals or animals? So, like, if a child at 11 atoms per kilogram sees heart problems, what does an insect see it at? What does a bird see it at? What does a squirrel see it at? What does a mouse see it at? What does... we have to have an ecosystem for this to work, for our planet to work. That's the only reason we and everything else exists. We did live in harmony until nuclear showed up. And nuclear is the big turd in the punch bowl, right? It won't be long now before you have vending machines selling Geiger counters anyway. Might as well do it, because you know somebody's going to do it. And they're going to make a fortune. They're going to be some of the wealthiest people on the planet. Common spent fuel pool being sprayed with water contains 6,375 spent fuel assemblies. Now, this is the International Atomic Energy Agency. It actually had a meltdown, right? And had a recriticality, too. We have those headlines, too. It actually has a recriticality. What was it, on the 22nd of March or something? No, none of that matters anymore. They burnt all the books for the last 12 years. Now nothing melted. No, there's no releases. Nuclear's the superstar of humanity. And Spider-Man and the Hulk and everybody will give you an autographed picture if you just love nuclear a bit more. You just got to love it a bit more. They'll reach out to you, and maybe Spider-Man will send a radioactive spider and he'll bite you and you'll become a superhero too, see? You might get a cameo then on The Simpsons or something. Authorities hit radioactive plume forecast to avoid evacuation. So then after, they went in and picked up 30 million one-ton bags. Obviously, this is not even a fraction. This is one of 150,000 sites. This is what it would look like, where they admit to picking it up. 150,000 sites of one-ton bags. Sounds about right. What we faced is a great unknown to all of mankind. 10 sieverts an hour outside, and the levels must be much higher, closer to the reactor core, says Japan nuclear professor. Experts are split on how to decommission Fukushima, because they were running out of homeless right away, right? And they were like, well, you know, we got to raise the prices of everything, create more homeless, so we got employees for Fukushima. What we face is a great unknown. 10 sieverts an hour, by the way, is a lethal dose right away, particularly in the environment. Fukushima workers ain't wearing Scotty backpacks for starters. The homeless don't get backpacks. The homeless get paper suits. Pick up your check in 2 weeks because they know they'll be dead in a few days. Send us people who don't mind dying. What do you think they meant by that? Do you think they were asking for nuclear scientists? Mom, nuclear scientists. They're going to sacrifice their lives because they love us at Fukushima. I'm so touched. You couldn't get a nuclear scientist kicking and screaming within 100 kilometers of Fukushima. That's the truth. Claw your eyes right out of your head, from the back of your head, too. No, they're going, no, you can't make me. They claw the eyes right out of your head. Maybe we should get a nuclear scientist to go down and write on the 30 million one-ton bags. And this is a real picture right there. Tokyo governor suggested a Fukushima draft. It's not bad enough 60 and older must go to Fukushima and die. We might as well send everybody. Send everybody. Because it's not like a banana. It's not like a potato chip. Can you imagine how despicable you got to be to tell you it's like a banana and a potato chip? Imagine what kind of despicable, worthless scumbag you got to be to say something like that. Really, really. What a worthless industry. These people are just worthless. They're literally macabre, right? They hate you so much to tell you that it's like a banana and a potato chip and walking in the sunshine. It's just surreal what they gotten away with. For 80 years they gotten away with this. Fukushima is the most terrifying situation I can imagine, top scientists. I've seen a paper that says it's bye-bye Japan and to evacuate the west coast of North America if the great reactor 4... If reactor 4 goes, let me see. There's reactor 4. The fuel, the reactor core is at the top of the building, and the fuel pools are at the top of the building. I can't tell if it's gone. I don't know. Nobody's come out and said it was gone. See, quite the contrary, actually. They come out and say, "No, here, reactor 4, getting the pool out of the fuel pools." Should we bring back burning people at the stake for what they done? If you had a referendum worldwide, should the people that pretended they were in the fuel pool at Fukushima be burned alive at the stake? I wonder what the outcome of that referendum would be. I want to do it. Let's play that clip one more because we got a special night tonight. We got a poll. It's not like every other night. Tonight we got a poll. Was it a crime for media like the BBC, ABC, CNN, CBS, etc. to claim that they were in the Fukushima Reactor 4 fuel pool, which is at the top of a 19-story, 65-meter, 190-foot building? You're at the top of a building, okay, and that's the building they're talking about. Now, when you look around the building, it doesn't look very good. If that was my piece of real estate, I'm pretty sure I'd be calling an insurance company like, "Hey, I can't sell that. I need to be paid out." Let me play this clip one more time. I never get tired of it, which is sad.
Where I'm standing is on top of what used to be reactor building number 4. The whole of this building was blown apart by a huge explosion.
We are here inside Reactor 4 at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant that was severely crippled during the earthquake and tsunami of 2011.
Of the decommissioning work taking place here in Reactor 4.
At the end of our tour, we were checked for radiation exposure. In 4 hours, I received the equivalent of less than a chest x-ray.
1,500 highly radioactive fuel rods inside this pool. They've got to move them outside of this reactor.
So David Suzuki said Fukushima's most terrifying... Well, actually, let's just listen to Suzuki say it.
So just to recap, when you look at the pictures, all of number 4 is missing and all of number 3 is missing. And so the fuel pools were up close to the top of the building. They're long gone. David, I think you had something you wanted to say.
That the fear is there's another earthquake of a 7 or above, that building will go, and then all hell breaks loose. And the probability of a 7 or above earthquake in the next 3 years is over 95%. I have seen a paper which says that if, in fact, the 4th plant goes under an earthquake and those rods are exposed, it's bye-bye Japan, and everybody on the west coast of North America should evacuate.
He said he's seen a paper that if the fuel rods in that building over there touches and it looks like that, it's bye-bye North America and Japan should evacuate. Wait a second. I think it's gone. But the media said it's not. You're not the media. Why should we believe you, Dana? Well, because I got the evidence. Yeah, but you're not the media, Dana, so I'm not going to believe you. I'm going to slip back into my world and pretend that nothing happened. U.S. ambassador letter from Fukushima, former Japan ambassador, worsening radioactive contamination of the sea will soon awaken the whole world. Boy, oh boy, were we wrong. Celebrated physician, Fukushima has humanity on the brink of a possible worldwide nuclear holocaust. The effects on our health is incomprehensible, and that the world as we know it has changed. So originally there was people came out and were very vocal, right? And I wish they would show up again, because nobody, but none of them told you, right? That's the problem with that was nobody told you that they're faking it. All David Suzuki had to do when he had all the blowback from that conversation was saying, look, they're not in the fuel pool, so shut the fuck up. Right? All Greenpeace had to do was retweet that picture back out instead of blocking me, right? And I was incredibly sad for a couple of years about that. I remember the frustration. Every day it was just utter frustration, right? That the nuclear Greenpeace was just another monster. Why wouldn't he tweet out the picture? I tweeted out the video too, right? You know what I'm like. You know what I'm like. You know how thorough Dana can be. I'm bragging. I'm just, that's Dana, right? If I target somebody, then I'm going to target them the proper way. All the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. So you can actually, if you cleaned up all of Fukushima, not the 14 prefectures where the food was banned by 55 countries for a decade, but if you just clean up the Fukushima prefecture, the 2-inch of topsoil across the whole country instead of 3% of the land, where they got 30 million one-ton bags, this, what you're looking at, would be stacked up to the atmosphere, wrapped around the entire planet several dozen times. That's how bad Fukushima actually was. So imagine 80 years, imagine the first 20 years of the weapons scam, what they call it testing. Same bomb, same radioactive fallout. And grammar is so important. See, they call it testing, but it was actually a nuclear war. And rather than have Russia shooting that shit, they just blew up their own bombs in their own country. I mean, the French went crazy. What the French done, what the Soviet Union done, China done, what American done, what Pakistan, Indian done, it's just mind-boggling how that kind of evil could actually exist, and how the world sat in silence, how all the journalists and academics went to university to get an education, to get the job to lie to you. That's their job, is to lie to you. And so the average person just can't, their brain is so compact that they can't comprehend that. Right? If it actually sunk in, they won't be able to drive for a couple of weeks, and they're going to crash into everything all the time. poison Fukushima plant is spreading around the world, causing incalculable damage. We may never get it under control. Well, we didn't get it under control because we were never given a chance. We weren't given a chance because the media come out and made it impossible for to have a conversation. Made it impossible to have any kind of debate. Made it impossible. You'd be under siege from the pro-nuclear community. Conspiracy theorists, kooky. I had one guy who was stalking me for years, and he used to have UFO videos. He used to have Bigfoot videos. He used to have the Loch Ness Monster. He used to have all kinds of weird, like urban legend stuff on his site, and then it would be my videos. So he'd bring in the crazies. The crazies would run over my site and blah, 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 you're giddy, you're stupid. It was relentless. I'd be out on the ocean doing research expeditions 4 or 5 months, getting the shit kicked out of me every day. And every day, twice a day, I'd get out and hit the low tide, rain. It didn't matter the weather. I was determined to scour that coastline because every time, each year, and I've done it for 6 years, each year, the way I'd done it was I'd done it like I might never get this opportunity again. All right, and I really took that to heart every single day. Real, Dana, get up and hit the beach. It's only for a couple of hours. Yeah, it's miserable out there, but if you get out there for a couple of hours, then it won't bother you tomorrow, because it'll bother me if I don't do it. There's 149,000 pictures like this missing, so we got artificial intelligence hard at it for quite a long time to come, I'm sure. For the first time, officials met the shortage of workers / homeless and destitute and victims of society and the immigrants that don't speak the language and anybody else that they can coerce into going into the nuclear wasteland. Tepco promises additional efforts to get more. Shanghai. BBC revealed homeless people are cleaning reactors in modern slavery in Japan nuclear industry exactly 14 years before that. Well, it's always been the homeless. It's always been the immigrants. It's always been the people that day workers and stuff like that, desperate for a day's job. And then they get ripped off. They get poisoned and slaughtered and harmed beyond repair, and they have no idea what's going on. They don't have health care. They don't have medical. They can't get in to see a doctor. They die a miserable existence. And then the management is counting their monies each day because he knows that employee is not coming back because he went over into the hot zones, right? I'll give you and we got the stories. We'll give you $3,000 for an hour's work. Don't ever buy that one at a nuclear site. Yeah, well, in 7 days' time, we'll give you the money. And they'll send him into a hot zone, and they'll drop dead. If you don't drop dead, they'll drop dead tomorrow or the next day. You know what they say, right? 50% of the people who gets the dose will die within 30 days, and the other 50 died that week. 50%. Radioactive Xenon-133 in Washington was 450,000 times above detection levels and persisted for weeks. So everything was getting full body x-rays. Every insect, every organism, bacteria, fungus on the entire planet. Like we're talking about, and when you look at the models of the radioactive fallout, how do you not have contempt for this industry? How does that actually work? How can you not hate this industry, see? So that model over there is 26 days after the tsunami, but 20 days after the last reactor detonated, and it covers the whole planet. Every model from every country and every government has the same particular attribute. It covers the entire planet in 20 to 30 days. Every model from every country. You know, they didn't ban the food in 14 prefectures because it's like a banana and a potato chip walking in sunshine, right? All right. They didn't pick up 30 million one-ton bags because it's like climbing a mountain or flying on an airplane or eating peanut butter. And some of these people are just... Their parents should be sent to the Fukushima to clean up, not the homeless. And I'm not joking, right? Let me show you the madness, some of the madness. Robert Gale, Imperial College of London. And we're, Geraldine Thomas, Dr. Geraldine Genocide Thomas. And he's talking about the employees. He goes there and once in a while, now he does transplants where he radiates the victims and then tries to stick an arm or a leg on them, right? Or an organ or something like that. And they always die. He doesn't understand why, of course. They'll get it eventually. That's Kathleen Higley in the middle there. And that's Kyle Vetter from Berkeley, the sadistic demon. So Robert Gale was talking about where he's the employees that working around Fukushima, the homeless, the destitute, the victims of society, immigrants don't speak the language. He goes there and tells them, he talks about, childhood exposures, indoor radon, CAT scans and stuff like this. But you're at a nuclear meltdown site, for goodness sakes. And so he's talking about what's the comparable rate that the employees working at multiple nuclear meltdowns is getting each day. So he wants to convince them to go there, right? So he said it's equal to smoking 14 cigarettes a day, or it's equal to eating 25 cups of peanut butter, or it's equal to spending 20 days in New York going to a nuclear meltdown site, or driving 600 kilometers in a car. That's the comparable risk. Or kayaking for 15 minutes. But you're at multiple nuclear meltdowns with lethal doses everywhere. And this is the guy who does transplants on your loved ones. Can never seem to get success, right? 80 years, they still haven't succeeded. And I'm not going to play the clip for you because it's so sadistic. He's unbelievable education. Look at the education this guy got. Who are you going to believe? You're going to believe a guy with that education or Dana? Like I'm saying for the average person, right? They're going to believe Robert Gale. And then parents are going to bring their children and their loved ones to Robert Gale to do transplants. Robert Gale is going to pound them with proton beams and gamma shines and x-rays and neutron until he die. It never wins, right? And no matter hell or high water, they're going to figure it out. Yeah, we only got 80 years in on it, Dana. Takes time, Dana. Takes millions of dead people for that, trial and error, Dana. How is the cops don't grab these people, bust them up and take them down, throw them in a dungeon? Cops don't know what a criminal is, see? Because he's so meek, he's so quiet, he's so mellow, he's so well-spoken. He got such an amazing education. He's held in such esteem. He has as a professor at the Imperial College of London. How could he be a bad person? But once you go down the rabbit hole, the darkness, that's what a professor does. Their job is to screw you and everybody else and then pretend that they're good people. Radiation experts terrifying how the Pacific ecosystem has collapsed since Fukushima. Plutonium, uranium suspected of spreading through the food chain. What? Wait, that's crazy. You mean tritium, right? No, plutonium, uranium. But the media, everybody knows, Dana, is tritium. And the only people who see the media right now are people who talks about tritium. And this is every nuclear power plant has fuel pools, multiple fuel pools at each reactor. 2 fuel pools typically are at each reactor. Not typically, but there's 2 fuel pools for each reactor. And the fuel pools, once you put fuel in it, it's still splitting atoms for millions of years. They're typically surrounded by farms. Where do you think that's going to go? Do you really think that the farm food is not going to suck up the radiation? And does anybody really think that the nuclear industry doesn't know what's going down? What's up? What's up? Anybody really believe the nuclear industry doesn't know surrounding nuclear power plants with farms is going to go south? Nobody's ever told you why nuclear waste is bad. Oh, it lasts forever. What do you mean, though? Well, it's still splitting atoms into the ecosystem on a scale that the average person can't even comprehend. New York Times, April 2nd, 2011. The public authorities have sought to avoid grim technical details that might trigger alarm or panic. They don't want to go there. And Alvarez is a sack of shit, by the way. We've covered him many times over the years. He's a slick. He's like Arnie Gunnarsson and Helen Caldicott. A real slick. But ultimately, their job is to spread disinformation of the worst type. Fish leaking pus covered in lesions deformed along the U.S. West Coast. Fishermen, nearly all the fish caught are affected. I've never seen this. Some had pus all over their bodies. So many are showing illnesses. Environmental conditions could be a factor. Geez, you don't suppose it could be perpetual radioactive fallout? Mysterious cancers killing sea lions along the U.S. West Coast. Oh, that's probably bananas. Too many bananas from the nuclear meltdowns, Dana. Too many potato chips from the nuclear meltdowns. And everybody knows sea lions can't handle potato chips or french fries. Bones turning to mush. The inside are just masses of yellow, cancerous tissues. Well, that sounds like a real healthy ocean ecosystem to me. Probably got nothing to do with why all the whales are emaciated and all the birds are emaciated. And so Japan should look like this. And just imagine every time it rains or typhoons, the whole country washes radiation out into the ocean. And because it's all radioactive roots now, you got all this radioactive pollen. It's a never-ending cycle of misery now. And we lost our opportunity. We lost our only opportunity to come up with solutions because your media went to war against you, made sure there was no way you can come up and have a debate. There was no way you can have a future. New York Times contributor confirmed California rainwater 181 times above drinking water standards for iodine 131. Well, what does it mean? It means you're saturated with all the other isotopes. It can't be just, it's certainly, it's not iodine 131 only. But when it's at that ratio, then you're going to have similar numbers for all the major isotopes / the other 1,002, right? And the ratios is important because for iodine 131, for every one that's created, there's 10 times more 132, 30 times more 133, 31 times more 129. And the 132, 133, by the way, are 10 times more effective at ionizing, radiating your thyroid glands than incredibly effective iodine 131 is. And the significance of that is you're irradiating the thyroid glands of all the species, bar nothing, and they're producing radioactive hormones forever. And so you're sterilizing the species. On top of that, you're causing incalculable health issues that are permanent. Like, how does this industry get away with this? Well, it had a lot of help. And how do you describe these people as anything but evil? I don't understand that. Right? How can you associate them with anything but evil? Was it a crime for media like the BBC, ABC, CNN, CBS, etc. to claim they were in Fukushima reactor for fuel pool? Was that a crime? If that's not a crime, what the frig is a crime? Like, really? They're pretending they're in that building 120 feet above it. You really, like, all the producers, all the editors, the videographers, the amount of people, and then the amount of, like, all the universities had to participate in this law. All the government agencies had to participate in that law for that law to work. Because all you needed was Greenpeace or anybody else, Ernie Gunnarsson or Helen Caldicott, to retweet my picture out, my video out, and say, hey, they're not in fuel pools or the buildings. These are lethal doses. What's going on? And then you could have had a debate, right? No, they arrested me and gave me gag orders for 3.5 years, so we couldn't have a debate. New York Times contributor confirms California rainwater 181 times above drinking water. That means you're supposed to abandon California. Got on board a 747. Worse than a meltdown, says the experts. The spent nuclear fuel caught fire. Wait, no. They're above the spent nuclear fuel pool. I can't have caught fire if they're above the spent nuclear fuel pool. Wah! Trust the science. Trust the nose. Mass die-off report in the Pacific Ocean officials. There's no fish out there. Anywhere. I was on the ocean March the 16th, 2017 on the research expeditions. I'll tell you what. It's bad, George. It's bad. When you ban the food in 14 prefectures for a decade, it's bad. It ain't like a potato chip. This is one of the videos I took up in Alaska. I was, this picture was up by Zabalis on the west coast of Vancouver Island, the west coast, folks. And Zabalis is chopped out of the west coast. There's this island, right? And so you can get temporary shelter. And I was trying to get the curry chop. It was up around right here by Nooka. Yeah, it was up by Nooka Island, rather. So it was right here. I was getting ready to try to come around a point. So you got to go out and come around. So that was right there where I took the picture. And I had to get the curry chop to come out and go around this point. Because there's inside passage just down here I can hide away again, right? I was working my way back down from Alaska. And I was on the ocean for, 4 months or something at that stage. And I got the shit kicked at me, so I went in and hid away behind Nooka and just surveying there for a few hours, just because I knew the swell was coming down, the winds were coming down. I was going to get my opportunity, and I was going to shoot out around the Cape, Hesqua, and then duck into the hot springs and get cleaned up because I've been on the ocean for months and months and months. I was headed to Tofino and Ucluelet and Bamfield and places like that. I got banned from Bamfield University. Not before I got an interview with the director, which he tried to take down off YouTube later. No, I didn't ask him for permission. So we got a trailer for that Zodiac, the small one, right? today. I'm going to show you those pictures not too long from now. And that one's got 2 engines. I got a 8 horsepower 4-stroke. And I can't remember now. Is it 3.5? I got 5 different engines. And we haven't used these 2 engines for a number of years, which is a crying shame. And now that the price of gas has gone up 40 cents a litre here in Canada, because Canada is batshit crazy, the little Zodiac will fill in when I haven't got gas for the big one, right? And so here we go again. Spring is here. We're going to get busy and get out and start the research again. This is a typical day on the research expeditions. So we've done these research expeditions. Hang on, I'll get there. I'm getting there. Bear with me. Oh, here we go. So from Vancouver, British Columbia, we've done it for 6 years. The first year went out and realized it's an extinction event. You had to go back year after year to see if the species recovered. And so it's very boring, let's put it that way. Very terrifying too, because it's silent. There was only 3 times that I had a bird in the anchorage with me. Remember, I'm on the ocean for 4 or 5 months at a time without coming home. Because once I go, there's no going back, because if you go back, you might not raise enough money to get back out there. So once you're out there, then you don't have a right to come back. And so this is what it's supposed to look like, the whole coastlines. And so you can't land a Zodiac on the beaches pre-Fukushima because you're going to punch a bunch of holes into it no matter where you goes. Now you can land wherever you want. Doesn't matter. There's no barnacles. There's no nothing. There's no mussels. The 700 algae are missing. The 80 species of starfish that each come in multiple vibrant colors are missing. Gone. They're gone. The corals are gone. The 78 species of sponges that comes from multiple vibrant colors are gone. The 480 species of worms are gone. The 76 species of sea anemones are gone, and each species come in multiple vibrant colors. The shellfish are gone. And this is your typical beach, no matter where you're to in British Columbia. Even if there's pollution, that's what it would look like. It's unbelievable. It's tropical rainforest, right? 27,000 islands. And because it has so much filters, because that's what shellfish are, they're filters, right? But they can't filter radiation. They bioaccumulate it 125,000 times more than background. So you don't want to eat shellfish from questionable parts of the world, which is the planet Earth right now. So the species are exterminated. And at the high tide line, there was 30,000 insects, well-known species. But we're talking about tropical rainforest. We're talking about 27,000 islands. We're talking about millenniums of genetic superior selection. Poof, gone. Vaporized with massive radioactive plumes. And I know because I went out there and got the shit kicked out of me. But when I was out there, I was attacked relentlessly. Literally, I was attacked. It's unbelievable, the attacks up on me. What are you doing out there, Daddy? You're scaring people. Like, you wouldn't believe the videos that this industry produced. The species are gone. You're talking about 7,000 highly visible species. There was 700 algae in the tidal zone. And in those 700 algae were 5,500 highly visible, not highly visible, but visible species of invertebrates without the backbones, like little shrimp, that were identified, that were unique. It was all gone because of Fukushima, because radioactive fallout doesn't respect any borders. And the tidal zone, everything washes down from the mountains. The tide is low tide. Where's it going to trickle down to and run through? The tidal zones, right? Because the tide zone can. We can make a happy song out of it. Who can make the starfish twinkle in her eyes? He can, you can. Who can make the sea urchins? Because we need someone to come here and make sea urchins again and make starfish. Because the Sandman can. Who can make the whelks and snails? And we used to see rocks. It was not unusual, like when I was diving these coastlines. It was normal, even when you're putting up beach lines, it was normal to see a rock with 50,000, 500,000 whelks and snails on it. It was normal. You feel guilty. There were so many species coming ashore at low tide, you typically wouldn't try it because it would break your fucking neck trying to crawl through it. So you wait for high tide so you can put a beach line onto one of the trees. And you would run the line back out, so you would let go on the boat and then you would pull your beach line. And the beach line was meant to keep the boat from drifting. So if the wind was coming from that direction, I would high pee on an island, tie onto a tree, put my anchor out, and then the wind would blow towards from my stern, right? But I'm hit away because all these trees would disperse the weather. So you're like, ha, go away, weather. But when I was doing the research expeditions, I had to go out in the hell. I had to go out into the most exposed areas to quantify the research. And I did. And so these species are gone because Fukushima, and because the media didn't give us a chance. 80 years of denial. And Fukushima was the ultimate betrayal, right? And what they done for Fukushima was they literally pretended that they were in the fuel pool. This is not the only media that done it. That's the batshit crazy part about the story was all the universities and all the media had done it. The universities were having lectures and presentations and it was like a crisp pack of cigarettes. And we have no future, and so we might as well steal theirs while we're at it. And we've got to fight for the future generation. If we don't fight for the future generation, there is no future generation. There's just the stupid idiot in the industries that have hoarded everything for themselves and have doomed this incredible. Like, we don't have another fucking planet to go to. And we've been denied, so let's hold them accountable. That's a good start, isn't it? Isn't that where we should start? Shouldn't we hold at least these visible figures accountable? Make public trials of it. And that's an incentive not to be monsters. Does that make sense? Radiation experts terrifying how the Pacific ecosystem has collapsed since Fukushima. Now, I was on the ocean January 8, 2014 doing these research expeditions that I just showed you. And I was posting, every time I came into the port, I was posting everything I can. I was doing radio shows, I was doing blogs. I was Johnny Appleseed. Okay, so like I had a very long day. I only been home a couple hours when the show started. Let me explain that to you. Had a great day though. That's the trailer, the only trailer I can afford. It's a 5 by 10 foot trailer. And I have the gear to fix it up. I picked up some more gear today. I'll show you that in a second. But that's my beauty right there. That's the beauty right there. And this is a video from a few hours ago. This is about 5 hours ago. It's April 23rd. It's almost 6 p.m. my time. That means I'm doing a show in 4 hours. And we're not even home. I got another hour to go to get home. It looks good. Good enough. We'll do the work on it. This is better than I thought it was going to be. I still got to get the wheel welds. And we're in good shape. Yeah, I know she looks rough, but that's what we can afford. And I love it. It's awesome. And don't worry about me. I'll fix that up over the next number of days. I got the equipment. We have the equipment now to do stuff like that. It's taking forever to get up to this position. We're going to use that to put the small Zodiac. And it's good for ponds and rivers and streams and even the ocean, right? It's going to be, and we got the perfect little Zodiac for it. We got all equipment. And so I went in and picked up a whole bunch of more, not a whole bunch, but you know me. So we picked up new chocks for the new trailer to block up the wheels. I also, normally this stuff is $1.25 a foot. This is 5/8, double braided. It's 100 feet. I got it for $35 today, so I bought it. And I'm going to use 25 foot on each side of the Zodiac for the emergency lines that are almost in the water. So if you fall overboard, you can grab that line. It's a 5/8, which is a really thick rope. And then I'm going to use the other 50 feet. I'm going to split it for a bow line and a stern line. And a month ago, I picked up two 20-foot double braided ropes too. So, because we've been using pretty shitty ropes for the last 4 or 5 years. So that's a big deal. And that is a big deal to get 100 foot of that. And the safety lines I'm using are not good enough. You can't pull yourself back on board. It's too thin. You can basically pull yourself to the back of the boat if it's not, no, I'm in the Atlantic Ocean. Not that matters anymore. I picked up 4 more of these flaps. And the flaps is what push the shine. So you can use the grinder, and then I got the steel brushes. I got 3 brushes for the grinder, right? And we're talking good stuff though, not the naughty stuff. I got one that's crazy. It's so good. And then after I do them two, then I'm gonna hit it with the flaps, and the flaps will put a shine on, it'll polish it. And so when I paint it, it'll be protected for a very long time. So the trailer looks pretty rough now, but don't worry about it. We picked up another 10 tie down points, but I still got a whole bunch of the E-tracks that I can utilize now in the second trailer. So that's fantastic. And I picked up another can of 20-pack of small bungees, 10-inch bungees, because they're on sale for $4 or something. And I picked up, because I ain't got a winch, right? A jack for the trailer. So I picked up they were on sale. The 5,000-pound jacks were on sale for $36. They're normally $80-something. And so I snatched that. I was like, woohoo! I got that. And then I got, that's the 5,000-pound. I also got a really good deal for $5 on Ultra Grease. Grease for your electronic connections, so it doesn't corrode, because we got a big problem when it comes to boats and oceans with corrosion, right? And that's a game changer, because one of my biggest issues is corrosion. It's literally torture. And I picked up another lock for the second trailer. And typically they're $20. I got that for $8, I think it was. So the corrosion, you put that in all your connections and that. That's awesome. I'm pretty happy about that. And so I'll hit that with the grinder, then I'll hit it with the wheel, with the steel brushes, the knotty. These are good ones. They're not going to wear down anytime soon. And then I'm gonna sand the wood and put lacquer on it, clear lacquer. And that wood pulls up because we need a flat deck. But I also got to buy wheel wells. Now they had them there today for $30 each. These APVs, these plastic ones. But I was looking at their website on the 5th of next month. They're gonna have, which were the 20-inch flaps or wheel wells. They're going to have 35-inch steel wheel wells on sale on the 5th of May for $37 each or something. And so I'm going to go that route, most likely, if I raise the money, right? And so it won't take me long to break down all that rust. It's actually in really good conditions. It looks pretty bad in the pictures, I know. But it's actually in pretty good condition. It's an old trailer. I got a lot of work to do with it, but I don't mind that. I'm thrilled. And you can start to see right here, right? It's actually not too bad. I got to get rid of that, I don't know what it is, a 6-inch or something. connector. It's in really bad shape. It's got a whole bunch of major dents into it. And so you see that receiver I got there. So the top part of the receiver, I can put the 12,000-pound winch into it. So I can do it. So I can hook the boat up to it, the big flat deck to it, or the 5x10 trailer to it, and still have the winch. And the winch will work for all three of them. So that was a great, because we got that on sale for $35, right? And then that stainless steel receiver, that's got 3 different sizes and a hook. We got that, I think, for $29, was it? I can't remember. We got a really good deal on it. But I did have a problem with the wiring today, so I'm going to have to let go of all the wiring on the truck. I screwed up somewhere along over the last number of years. I must have messed up. I'm going to have to gut everything off the truck and do all new connections and see if I can resolve that. I'm going to have to pull a few boards up. I think I'm just going to put plywood over it for the first couple of years. And just trying to buy that wood today would cost you a small fortune, right? And so I got a whole bunch of equipment for that trailer already, right? And we got the equipment. I haven't got the wheel wells. I haven't got the paint. But I think I got just about everything else I need for it. So that's a huge... And we got the compressor. We got the tools gathered up now. It's going to, it's going to make a big difference. And we can use that for launching the little Zodiac. Because that little Zodiac is really good for sneaking up on birds and that. Because the bird can't physically see you, and you're so small with that. You got 2 4-stroke motors, so no matter which one you're using, you're very, very quiet. And they're very fuel economically. Okay, so the poll tonight, let's go back to that before we call it a night. Because I've only been home for a couple hours, right? I was on the road early this morning, and I had to pull over every 15 minutes and check the hubs to see if they were heating up, just because I didn't want to take no chances, right? I should have took the other trailer in, loaded it on the other trailer, and brought it out. But Buddy convinced me that it's very towable, right? It's absolutely towable. James Lewis had donated $200 last night, and which made all the difference in the world, obviously. I picked up all that other equipment, see? And that just made my day. We got all of it now. I couldn't be happier. And I know the nuclear industry is probably they're laughing their arse off. But they don't realize what I'm like, what I could do with stuff like this. They won't be laughing for long. Was it a crime for media like the BBC, the ABC, the CNN, and CBS in particular, and many, many other medias, to claim that they were in the Fukushima Reactor 4 fuel pool? Was that a crime? Is that a crime? Let's play that video one more time for the last time tonight.
Where I was standing is on top of what used to be reactor building number 4. The whole of this building was blown apart by a huge explosion.
We are here inside Reactor 4 at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant that was severely crippled during the earthquake and tsunami of 2011.
Of the decommissioning work taking place here in Reactor 4.
At the end of our tour, we were checked for radiation exposure. In 4 hours, I received the equivalent of less than a chest x-ray.
1,500 highly radioactive fuel rods inside this pool. They've got to move them outside of this reactor.
Ha-ha! Here we are, Reactor 4. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, so let's call it a night. I haven't stopped. My intention now is to go to bed. Get up tomorrow morning, get some work done on the trailer, because we're going to have a bit of rain tomorrow afternoon. I want to go out and get some basic stuff started. And hopefully I have a few pictures of that for everybody tomorrow night so you can see the before and after pictures. And I don't know what to do, man. I wish more people would donate. We only got a couple of people donating for so many years. We're barely keeping this operation running. I don't know. It's insane part of this story. We're isolated so much that it's hard to comprehend that the world doesn't care, right? That I shouldn't say doesn't care. It's just that the world is unaware. How can this not be a big story, right? I don't know. I don't know. I had the picture tilted, the video tilted. My apologies. And so I'm so tired. I'm starting to ramble. Starting to ramble. So hugs for everybody. God bless everybody. Have a great night and a great day tomorrow. We'll see everybody tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is Wednesday. Wednesday is always a fun day around here. And that's all I got for you tonight. Here we go. Here's the picture I'm looking for. Yeah, I'll be better tomorrow night. I didn't have quite the energy and then we got tonight. I apologize for that. I'll do better. You just gotta believe in me. I'll do better. See everybody tomorrow night. Hugs for everybody. Have a great night. I'll see everybody on the next show tomorrow night where we kick the shit out of the people in the nuclear industry for fun. For amusement. Because it's the right thing to do. See everybody tomorrow night. Take care, folks.